guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Megan and I am glad to have you here if this is your first time here. I am a family vlogging channel. I am a mother to 2 babies. I have a 19-month-old little boy named Lincoln and a almost 7-week-old little girl named Avea. And I had to have C-sections with both of them. My son, I had actually went in to be induced, and they lost his heartbeat. I actually did a birth story on him somewhere on my channel if you guys can find that, or I can actually link that down below for you and you guys can go watch that. But that is why we had to do the C-section with him. And I had actually had an epidural like 20 minutes before they lost his heartbeat. Now with my daughter, we had to do a scheduled C-section because I had already had one in the past. So I just want to talk to you guys about the difference on that. There is, to me, it was a really big difference. But again, I'm not a doctor or anything like that, so I'm just giving you guys my experience. This may not be the same for everybody else, and make sure that you talk to your doctor. I don't know if you can opt to get a spinal versus a epidural, or an epidural versus a spinal. I don't know how that works. But yeah, so my experience with the epidural, I had waited, I was in labor with my son for almost 3 days before I got the epidural. And you know, they clean off your back and all that, and they give you a numbing shot before they go to stick the needle and catheter through your back. Because it's like a really thin catheter that they feed up your spine, and they leave that in place with tape. Well, I felt the little numbing needle, and when they did the little needle to feed the catheter through, I didn't feel that. But the doctor, or the anesthesiologist, did tell me that it is possible to feel, like when they're feeding the catheter up through your spine, you could feel it in different areas of your body. And I just thought that was really weird. Well, he actually was telling me every step by step what he was doing. And when he was feeding the catheter through my back, my knee started kicking, like on its own. I started kicking my husband, sorry. And it was actually painful feeling that on my knee. It was painful. It was like almost like being hit there. Like, you know how like when you're little the doctor would test your reflexes? That's almost what that felt like. But it was more painful than that. And when my son was born, I honestly think that they gave me too much epidural. And the reason I say that is because about 20 minutes after they gave me the epidural, I had taken a nap, shortly after they had left the room. And Willie had actually woke me up coming out of the bathroom, and when he did, I couldn't feel anything from my neck down. I couldn't move my arms, I couldn't breathe. It felt like something huge was sitting on my chest, and I just kept telling him, I need to hit my button, I need to hit my button. And I was like, something's wrong. And he thought I was joking, because, you know, we joke around with each other quite often. And I was like, no, babe, I'm dead serious. Something is wrong. Please hit that button. So as soon as he did, I don't know if the nurses seen on the screen that my son's heart rate was dropping because they, in the labor and delivery nurses station, they actually, in most hospitals anyways, I'm not saying that's going to be your hospital, but they can actually see each patient's like vitals and stuff, and their baby's heart rate, their heart rate, things like that. Because when I hit that, or when Willie hit that button, and there was probably 5 to 6 nurses that came through the door at the same time, and they were like starting to freak out. They were putting oxygen on me. I'm trying to rip it off of me, because to me, oxygen, it almost feels like it's suffocating me more than it's helping me, and it freaks me out. Then when after we had my son, after the C-section, all of that, my back hurt for months, and it actually still kind of hurts now, and it's still the same ache from the epidural. Like, I can tell the difference between the epidural and the spinal block. Now, with the spinal block, they, took me into the operating room. The anesthesiologist set me up on the side of the table. You lean over just like you do with the epidural, hug a pillow, and you'll have, like, the nurse actually was with me this time because it's a sanitary room, so they can't have, or a sanitary procedure, so they cannot have somebody else in there. So my husband was not able to come in the room with me for this one. So the nurse is pushing down on my shoulders, and I'm hunched over like this, and I'm expecting the same thing as with my epidural. I'm expecting my knee to start kicking. I'm expecting to be able to feel everything. And again, this anesthesiologist is going through everything, just like the one that gave me the epidural. And I was probably like that for, I don't know, probably 2 to 3 minutes. And then all of a sudden the anesthesiologist is like, okay, I'm done. And I'm like, what? I didn't feel anything. And like, I barely felt a little prick at first. And that was it. It was amazing. And he's like, your bottom is going to start getting warm, and we're going to have to help you lay down. He's like, and then, because my biggest fear was them starting my surgery before the spinal block set in place. And he's like, oh honey, I'm telling you right now, that's not going to happen. And I was like freaking out. So, they lay me down flat. My bottom is getting really warm. I almost felt like I peed myself. And my, I can't like feel my legs. I can't feel my belly. I can barely feel my chest. And the doctor does like this prick test on you before they start the procedure. And, so he starts, poking me and poking me and poking me. He's like, can you feel that? Can you feel that? And I'm like, no, no, no. So they go ahead, they start the procedure, and, I'm talking to the anesthesiologist behind the curtain with me, because the room was so small, because I was diagnosed with COVID-19, asymptomatic COVID-19, the day that I came into the hospital. But I actually did another story on that as well, and I shared my birth vlog and everything, and I can link those videos down below too. But so my husband was not allowed at the foot of the bed with me, but they let him on the side where they were operating. Like, he got that footage that you see in my labor and delivery vlog, or my birth vlog. That is my husband. He filmed them, like, you can see them cutting the baby out and everything. It's pretty cool. But I asked the anesthesiologist, like, what in the heck, that was so quick compared to like an epidural. And he's like, yeah, the only thing that you get is like a little, you'll get your numbing medication, he said, and then we stick a needle in between your vertebrae and we actually put a solution down in there, and then it slowly absorbs into your back, and that is what numbs your whole bottom half. And I was like, that was like so much better than an epidural, so much better. And I don't feel any like pain or aches or anything from that spinal block. Now I will say my legs were a little bit longer with the spinal block than it was the epidural. But it was like I could feel them, but I couldn't there at the end. Like certain parts of my feet would be numb, if that makes sense to you. So they still wouldn't let me get up until I was completely able to feel everything. So like the first probably 13 hours after my daughter was born, I was not allowed to get up out of bed. Now though, I feel amazing. Like I can walk around. I feel really, really, really good. In my opinion, now, like I said at the beginning of this video, I am not a doctor. I am not every person. Every person is different. In my own opinion and my experience, I would much rather prefer to get a spinal block over a epidural. Just because of the procedure. The procedure of it is a lot less painful, and even afterwards, postpartum, your back is not achy. My back does not ache from getting that spinal block. My back is still achy from my epidural that I got almost 19 months ago, but it's not achy from the spinal block. And I am so happy about that. So happy about that. I hope that you guys got a little bit of informative information from this video. I'm actually going to start filming a few other videos that are kind of like this, that I'm going to be comparing my 2 C-sections and the recovery, the procedure, all of that. So if you guys want to see that and you are not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button and put your post notification bell. Now, I love you guys and thank you so much for watching these videos, and I will see you guys in my next one.